right, all right. Okay, we're back. ah, I was turning the mic off to make myself cough there, but I think it's probably time to begin the round table, and I would start by saying we're not going to force the session to be 60 minutes, but we are going to limit the recorded portion of the session to about 60 minutes. Hey, what's up, Vivian?
Hello, how are you?
Oh, very good. And Kadar is here with us as well. So, um, let me say, this is Beef Martine talking, and I'm going to push the button and record this session by your consent, or just so you guys are informed. And I don't know if it's ever going to go anywhere, but we're going to start recording these roundtables, and this time I won't mess it up.
Are you sure about that?
I recorded a sample where it's me in a chat with the Groovy bot, and then I'm talking. Right. Okay, and I played back, and I can hear myself talking now. So I think I
that's good.
Different software this time, and now I think we got it. So if I have the magic feather first, I would just say I had a good week in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. We got, I think, 43 stars on Hoth, which I like, and I finished every wave, every combat wave. That was my big achievement of the past week. And that's just my quick introduction. Let's pass the feather to the second person who entered, which is Kadar, the poet.
Hello. My guild also ran Hoth this past week. We generally do Geo, but we since Luke was around, I was like, hey, let's maybe do Hoth so we can get some Rolo stars for people. Turns out I'm literally the only person in the guild who didn't have Rolo at 7 stars, but not anymore.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, we got 45 out of 45, thankfully. So got those nice top tier rewards. Not that they're very top tier anymore, mind you.
Did you get that achievement now?
Yeah, I did get that achievement. Got me a few more Hermit Yoda shards as well. He's up to 7 stars.
Good.
And I managed every combat wave except the Rogue One mission because I have no Rogue One, and the mission requiring the Hoth Soldier because I don't have Soldier either.
Hey, that's still great.
Oh, yeah. I'll take the getting Rolo and Hoda to 7-star, and that's a satisfactory week in my book right there, and I'll pass on to you, Raven.
Yeah, applause. What about you, Vivian?
Excuse me. Oh, geez, I think I actually... Was it this week, or did I do that at the end of last week? Either way, I got my JKR finally after what feels like a million years. And I'm just working on getting him up to Relic. Got him to... What am I waiting on? 9 now? I'm just waiting on a bunch of Carbonis and stun guns, of course.
Then I'm waiting on the Cairo.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. Yeah, our Hoth went great. I performed better than I usually do. JKR helped out with that, definitely. I was able to split JKR and Bastila and do a couple... I think I got 4 of 4 on a few things with a JKR-led Jedi and a Bastila-led Jedi just to kind of buff out my roster a little bit. I know they work better together, but I tried splitting them up for some funsies.
Yep, I split them too sometimes. As each person speaks, you can either answer a question that's already been asked, address the things that have been said, or you can introduce a question to the room. And because there's only 3 of us, it seems really informal, but we're trying to set a precedent for how this round table circle will be conducted in the future. Let's say there's more people involved at some point. If everybody starts just understanding intrinsically how the circle goes around like that, then we could each take turns talking. And now, while it's my turn to have the magic feather, I would say that I want to ask a question to everyone in the circle, and I want to ask about your last grand arena, the GAC, and were there any teams on defense that you did not overcome, and if so, what, why, where? And I would just say, for me, it was the third round of this recent Grand Arena. I got stuck on a Relic 7 Grievous team that everybody else was Gear 12 and had full Zetas, but it was in the back. And what was it behind? It was behind Geonosians and a Newt team. Or no, Newt and Kylo Ren unmasked. Kylo Ren unplugged. Anyway, we're in front of it. So I beat the First Order. I beat this crazy Newt and Dooku team. And then I got back there and saw Geonosians and the this asshole Grievous team. I guess I shouldn't say asshole because this channel may be open to people under 18. But sorry if you were offended by that. Then the Grievous pooped all over my squad one by one. I tried several different things, but I had already used my good counters. I lost. So let's pass the feather. Same question. What did you hit, if anything, that was on defense that you did not overcome, and why? Kadar, you are number 2.
I'll tell you what, all 3 Grand Arenas, this is the first time in the entire season that I lost 2 out of 3 matches. And every time the culprit was Grievous team on the front wall. My usual strategy is I throw Padme against it. I just had bad luck. I usually do decent with it, but this time it was just could not get through it. The third time I managed to salvage it with a JKR team coming in to finish it off, because that target lock on Grievous is, or not target lock, that focus target on Grievous is valuable, but my JKR team is not relicked at all, which is why I typically don't send them in first, because I don't want them to get wiped right away by a full relic separatist team. It was a rough GA season for me, or GA round for me, I should say. But season's over. I'm happy with where I landed with it, and I'll pass the torch on to Raven now.
Yeah, and I see that another person has joined the channel. It appears that Absolutely Sith is coming in. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, guys? I saw you were in the chat, Beef Martin, or
Yes.
Utter Madness, or I forget. What's your name now? What should I call you?
Oh, I was named Eyeball Milky when I joined this channel, but now it's Beefed Martine.
Yeah, Eyeball. That's what it was. Eyeball
Yeah.
my licky.
Milky. So Absolutely Sith is number 4, and therefore we were just going around the room and answering the question, what was the worst thing you hit on Grand Arena defense? And the next person who's supposed to speak is Raven, aka Vivian, and if she's not ready to speak, then we pass the torch to Absolutely Sith. Vivian, are you on? She may be away from the microphone for a moment, or we can't hear her, so let's ask the question.
Sorry, I was muted.
Ah, there you go. Now we hear you.
I had to pull up my Grand Arena there to actually check my last round, not this one that just ended. But I've been struggling with geos. If I get overzealous with my Vader, I love taking it and underdogging, just soloing a team here or there just to get those extra banners. But sometimes either I took in my Vader and Palp together just to get a little backup, and those geos, something happened, they kicked my butt. And then Shakti clones, I really don't have many good counters for it at this point. It's a glaring hole in my roster I'm starting to see. Any clone, actually. Like a reliable counter there.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, because, I mean, my roster is not the greatest. I'm trying... My recent farm is the Separatist. I'm trying to get them up and running. But, I'm not so well versed with the the main counters and stuff. I rely on the Boba's counters actually a lot. I go on there and check out what I'm going against and see if I have anything close to workable. But yeah, that's what's been throwing me up, because I see a lot of Night Sisters and Geos. I mean, obviously they're wonderful defenders, and Vader can take one of the two of them sometimes. And sometimes I just make the wrong choice in my division, my area.
So that's a very interesting answer. And may I ask the same question for Absolutely Sith? What, if anything, did you see on GAC Defense that was hard to beat?
Are you guys streaming or recording, or are you just talking about it?
Yeah, I'm recording it.
Oh, I should probably drop out because I have not played GAC in a long time.
Oh, well, this is just one question. Each person, you can say whatever you want when it's your turn to talk.
I was just curious what was going on in voice chat. I can mute myself and listen for a little bit.
The idea was to have a round table where one person can talk at a time, and you just go around and say whatever you want to about your gameplay or what you've been, whatever. You can propose a question, answer a question, or just pass the mic.
Okay, yeah, I didn't mean to whatever the voice equivalent to photobomb you is.
Actually, we're glad to have you. I was hoping that you might jump on. We haven't talked for a little while.
Yeah, if it was going to be after dark or casual stuff, I'd be into it. But I'm way too past the point of no return tonight on the bong to contribute to game mechanics discussions. So.
You never know. You never know.
Okay, so he's passing the pipe. He's passing the peace pipe to next person, who is me. But I just proposed a question in the room, and I've been interjecting rudely. So let's pass the microphone next to Kadar and just see what question you have for the room or topic you'd like to discuss.
Alright, here's a fun topic. So, according to the presidents that we've had so far the last few weeks, if I remember correctly, tomorrow or the day after, we will get our last batch of Galactic Legend requirements for Grandmaster Luke and Sith Eternal Emperor Gucci Sweater Palpatine.
Oh, yeah.
I'm curious as to what we all think the requirements are going to be for this last batch. Personally, I know we've discussed this a little bit previously, and I know there's been plenty of speculation online, especially for Palpatine, in terms of, is he going to have any sort of get-locked characters that will not only balance out the get you need, but also balance out the additional characters you need to unlock the required characters. My heavy speculation is either Gas or Malik, or quite possibly both, are going to be needed to unlock Supreme Emperor Palpatine. Not Supreme, but he might as well be. Because they're both going to be get-locked. Granted, you get them at 5 stars, but they're both much more expensive per shard. So if my memory is correct, it's 180 per regular character shard, and then I think it's 380 per Gas and Malik shard, if my memory is correct.
That sounds about right. I've been saving up for Malik and Advanced, and
yeah. So Malik and Gas both cost, assuming you were around for the last anniversary, they cost 66,000 and a half get currency to unlock, and it's 66,000 because you save about 5,000 with the free ones they gave you in November. If you weren't here in November, then you're probably not close to Gas or Malik anyway at this point, unless you're wailing hard. But anywho, and then for the other characters outside of that, there'll probably be other Sith characters, so it could just be anybody from the roster. Maybe they'll require Darth Revan as well for Palpatine, and then for Grandmaster Luke, I'm a lot less sure with. I think it would be funny if they required Farboy Luke, but that's kind of cheating because Farboy Luke is required for CLS, or is required for Jedi Knight Luke, so he's technically already a requirement. But I also assume not many people would be entirely thrilled to have to relic up for boy Luke, and all the requirements for Jedi for Grandmaster Luke have been mostly very good characters that you want to have Relic. So it might be appropriate to have a few characters you're kind of cringing at Relic, and I mean, hopefully nobody will be as bad as Rose Tico, thankfully, but we shall see. And then I'll pass the feather baton torch over to Raven now. That is her name, right? Because that's what I'm seeing on Discord.
Yeah, that's my handle. Vivian's my proper name. Raven's my handle. It's also my middle name, but
right. I'll probably keep saying that. I'll probably keep referring to the Discord name because that's what I'm seeing, and you're not in my guild. So
yeah, that works for me. I definitely agree. Gas, it just feels like the same like Jedi Knight Luke equivalent. If they're supposed to be like lined up in needs, plus including the get to currency and all that stuff. Malik would be an interesting one. They already kind of set the precedent with Marauder of it being not quite all correct. to put it in a way, I guess. But Malik would be an interesting one, and on that point, I'm a couple gear levels away from trying out the dark side path. I need like 2,000 more power on Canderous, and
that's the easy side. That's the easy half.
Yeah, I got to get my light side buffed up a bit more. I just watched a couple videos on it just to see the event, and a couple gear levels, and I'll have a good the ability to try it at least.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see. There was that leak there a while back that for another marquee character, and I'm honestly just more curious of who that's going to be. I definitely think they're going to be a requirement for Palp.
Sorry to interrupt, but when you say marquee character, are you talking about the data mine from SW Star Wars Galaxy events, the 3rd of September, the new character bundle 14, that was possibly referring to marquee? Is that what you meant?
Yes, I believe that's the one I'm referring to. Yeah, I think it was 14. It was the one. It was one that they found like after Piet, I believe.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, we've heard nothing more data mine wise about that.
Yeah, just because with Threebach there and Mon Mothma, and only having Piet for Palpatine on top of Jedi Knight Luke, that we all know that Grandmaster Luke has some steep requirements comparatively, and I know they have to balance that out. Like they did it with the two ships; they're pretty much on equal footing. And so my solid guess would Gas is definitely a solid guess. They've had other apprentices already. It only makes sense. Jedi Knight Luke would be an interesting one as a requirement as well. I don't know if it would be, since Gas is a more money bringing character that they would want to require you to get. But I think some form of Anakin is definitely going to be a requirement. Just wouldn't feel right without it.
Good thought. So is the next to answer is technically absolutely Sith. Do you want to take that question on? I see he's muted his microphone. Do you want to answer that question? And number...
Oh, crap. What's the question again?
Kadar, you could rephrase the question.
I'll repeat the question.
It's your question.
Yeah, so we know that the next batch, the final batch of requirements for the Galactic Legends Luke and Palpatine are supposed to come out. So what do you think they might be? I also have a follow-up comment that I thought of, but I'll let you go, Alan. I'll let you guys answer.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to think. I'd be surprised if they introduced new characters. But last time we had the heroes. Like last time we had multiple new characters. So I'm kind of inclined to think that if they drop new Rex, there's going to be at least one new tune. So, they already got Royal Guard, Darth Maul, I mean, I could see them adding Sidious, adding Treya, and making you go like R7 on them.
That's a good point too.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going old Sith, I mean, we've already got. I think we've got Dooku, we've got Dooku, we've got Maul. We don't have Savage, do we?
No, Savage isn't a requirement as far as I remember.
Okay, and there's nothing else that's really required Savage to be leveled up. But considering we've got Dooku and Maul, I would say Savage is almost definitely going to be there. And then it could be Sidious, Treyas, and Nihilus, but that's 4. How many tunes do we have left? Is it going to be 3?
It should be 5 total.
5 total. So I could see something like keeping. I mean, I don't know. You could have Darth Revan and Fallen Bastilla in there, but I think most people have those R7. So you have to think when CG does something, they do it for monetization first and foremost. So if you approach any decision from them as far as what will bone me the most, that seems to always be the appropriate answer and most in line with reality. So I would say Savage. I would say probably Sidious, because a lot of people haven't done that. Treya, and maybe Sith Trooper.
Wow.
Again, they do have that
wonder.
precedent.
Hey, can I pole vault off that?
Yeah, good answer. And we're
What's
introducing a new
Can I
caller,
pole
which
vault
is
off that?
Naughty
On your
Karate.
commentary there?
Yeah,
next.
and I mean that's if they don't introduce a new.
Next is Naughty Karate, who's the 5th caller. You've just joined, and go for it. Naughty, you're on.
And the 5th caller. All right, so I want to comment on what Sith was saying there, and this is really important because
What's that?
even though
That's his name.
I've been in a top 10 guild for years now, and I haven't spent any money. Well, really, I've spent like $100 in the last 2 years. But a lot of that is about preparing for what completing goals. Like getting a GL means there's a lot of parallel goals being happen with gear that is needed by multiple characters in any regard. So speculating on what might be there is really just preparing and hoarding as we always do, unless you're a spender and you can just buy the gear. But a lot of it is the gear bottleneck to make that happen. And you can expect that CG is going to put something very unexpected and perhaps worthless, like, Rose, for example. R2-D2 is not a bad R7 character. He's pretty useful. But, wait, back to my point. What was he saying? Shit, I got off track.
Who do you think they're going to add for Palpatine and Luke on the new Legend characters? They're about to reveal a couple more.
Oh, I hope it's Stormtrooper Han for the Luke side. That's actually a really good Relic 7 character. That seems
he's
relevant.
Great answer. Naughty is number 5, so if that's your complete answer, it passes the feather back to me, Beefed, and I'm number 1, because I was the first to join the channel. But I wanted to say we're halfway through the recording session anyway, and this is the roundtable chat for the Boba's Alliance, and everybody who's a member of Boba's Alliance is welcome to join this roundtable chat. You can come in and out at any time. It's meant to be a pretty casual way of just going around the table, and whoever has the sword of truth gets to speak, to ask questions to the room or answer them. If I was going to try to answer Kadar's, I would say that, Kadar, you are deeper into the game and the balance and the lore than the devs, and therefore some of the rationale you have for balancing what those requirements are going to be, I think you are more serious about it than the devs. They're probably thinking more like what Absolutely Sis said about just what people don't quite have yet, but that would be neat in their mind. And therefore, I think what you all have overlooked is it's going to be a ship requirement for Luke. And I don't know, but I think maybe in this case they will balance that by having a ship requirement for Palp, and that is going to be his shuttle. But I think there will be a new
It's like a
ship.
fair point.
Isn't it crazy? There's no version of Luke that has a ship right now.
That's what's going to be.
That is
Right.
Red 5.
Pilot Luke is the new character,
go.
the Red 5.
Even
That's my
Farm
thought.
Boy should have at least like a scooter. Some
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like you're in a fleet battle and all of a sudden a T-16 Skyhook, which for the record, according to the
Yeah.
lore, is not rated for space flight.
Yeah, only atmospheric. But anyway, that would be my answer to your question. It's really tough to speculate, but I think it's going to be a ship. It's going to hopefully be Luke's X-wing, because that would be awesome, and then some ship for
that'd be
Palp.
nice.
But next, the torch, the feather goes to Kadar, so you can speak and ask your follow-up question or whatever. We still have half an hour, so we still have time for questions from Raven, Absolutely, and Naughty.
Thank you. I want to propose something that Raven made me think of. So Raven was talking about how we need the Marauder and stuff, and what popped in my mind is, well, the Marauder has a rather unique tag in the game, and that's the Sith Empire tag. And since this is going to be the Sith Eternal Emperor, what do you think the odds are, and how do you think that would interact with the rest of the characters if Palpatine were to have the Sith Empire tag?
He will.
Yeah.
I think they will very carefully.
I can almost guarantee you there will be some kind of like mess around stuff like with what. Oh, I'm sorry. It's the next person after him, right?
Oh yeah,
So
but everybody was popping
Just
off
talk,
because it's
dude.
such a good question.
Just talk.
So let's
Go in alphabetical order.
That's okay. Next to answer that would be Raven.
Oh. Man, that would really the only thing I gotta say about that is that would be wild, especially hearing the little kit download or breakdown, sort of from with like the Galactic War Report, whatever it was. I didn't actually listen to it. I just heard the synopsis. Just if he's seeming to be a more manipulaty support like Galactic Legend, that could cause some fun with a Sith Empire team. Plus, that tag I really like Sith Empire. It could use a few more characters in it. Personally, I think
And
maybe doesn't need them, but it could use them.
Absolutely, Sith.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, what I would say is the problem with the Sith Empire is we're talking about KOTOR, which in the lore before it became non-canon was significantly well before the New Republic.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
I don't think Palp is ever going to be Sith Empire. To short circuit that, just lore-wise, it doesn't make sense from a tag perspective. They only separated off Sith Empire because that's when they started doing the hyper-factioning, where they didn't like the interactions between previous factions, so they prefer to create a new faction for anything because they don't want to rework all the interactions.
It's the exact same reason why Rey is not a Jedi tag, even though she's all the Jedi.
Oh, thank God she isn't.
Yeah.
Thank God she isn't.
Same reason why SLKR is not Sith.
Mm-hmm.
But I was going to go back to it and say we already had to take Sith Marauder to R6 or R7 or something crazy like that.
I think it was R7 even.
I think it's R7 for Sith Marauder. Going back in that route, I think what you're going to see is either one of the two of the Sith troopers, but probably the older one, the Black Sith trooper. I would say, to go back and redefine my answer, I bet you that Sass, because a lot of people went through and took the refund on Sass and don't have the gear on her anymore and don't have her Zeta.
Yeah, I don't.
I bet you Sass is a requirement. I bet you Savage is a requirement. And I bet you Sith Trooper, probably the old black one, is going to be a requirement. That's 3 out of 5 I can almost guarantee off the top of my head now, looking at what they did and how they could screw you.
Especially with the Marauder precedent already.
Yeah. Oh, it's
You know, one thing I
naughty.
do
Yep.
feel relevant to mention is that whether or not all of these speculations that we're making right now come to be or not, it's usually if CG's in charge, you can bet that it's going to be disappointing in nature. But the ultimate thing is that just save all your stuff. Like, just hoard your gear and spend it when you can make the decision, when you have a right, vector on what the choice is to make. Because it's just confusing propaganda right now. Like, oh, something might be super awesome in the next month or year or whenever. Maybe a Death Star raid will happen. No, just hoard. Just hoard. As soon as you can make the decision, as long as you prepared for it by not spending things indiscriminately, because it's a resource management game, right? Then you just save up all your stuff, and then spend it when you want. But the speculation is kind of fun, I have to say. But it's rather self-indulgent sometimes.
Okay, so if Naughty is number 5, I'm the next beefed, and I'm just wondering, like, what part of the game has been fun for y'all lately? However, it's not necessarily my turn to propose a question, but I am curious to know what's been the most fun thing in the game lately. And I'll pass the feather to Kadar.
For me, it's probably the raids because I'm still getting used to using SLKR on the raids, and I also just unlocked Hoda as well. So that opens a whole new avenue of what I'm able to do. Usually, what I've been doing for like the past ever since the Unity update, what I've been doing in the Sith Triumvirate raid is I'll use gas to at least attempt to solo phase 1, because ever since the Unity update, the raid bot Nihilus and Scion now summon their minions after they end raid. So previously, before the update, they would not summon the minions after the end raid. It just means you when you get those shields or those force taunt shields every few turns. But now you get those after the end raid, so you're able to keep the clones from dying because nobody loses health if gas is still up. And Nihilus ignores protection, so gas never goes down as a result. So that's a real fun way to try to cheese your way through phase 1. But it takes a little bit of RNG and a lot of luck. Because sometimes, even if Nihilus has his cooldown ready, because he'll do 3 turns, so he'll do the cooldown reduction, summon minions, and then he'll either do the Annihilate if it's ready, or he'll just do a regular attack, and that could throw you off if you've got a shield up, but the guys are going to go before Nihilus goes again. And then I genuinely can't remember the team I used, but I finally managed to solo phase 2 with Kylo Ren, and that was fun. So I broke 100 million damage for the first time in the raid, and it's fun to do that. Like, I haven't soloed it yet, and I'm only ever going to solo once because I don't want to be rude to my guild and just constantly take number 1 every time. But I do my goal is to eventually solo the raid once, and then for the hat, it's just a cakewalk. But the raids are learning Supreme Leader Kylo Ren with the raids these last few weeks have been really, really fun. Never gonna have that with Rey, sadly.
I see that.
That's it's always so wild for me to hear from soloing all these raids, because since I got back into the game, haven't been super into doing the raids. I usually I'll miss them all the time, but I get good enough rewards from just being active in it. So I usually don't even hit them, and we sim the pit raid, and that was the last raid that I was active in, because I think the tank raid had just recently dropped when I quit. So I had played it. I had gone up against the tank raid back when it was still like really hard. So it's always so funny for me to hear people talk about soloing the Sith raid, or parts of the Sith raid.
But where, if anywhere, are you having fun lately in this game?
I've really been enjoying. I've been enjoying Grand Arena. I've actually been enjoying trying to climb up in the regular arena as of late. way more than I ever had before. Just trying out my team, making some minor adjustments, and trying to, shoot up as much as I can, and swing higher than I expect I can beat, because I'm already at I've got to climb like 100 more steps to get to the next prize tier anyway. So as long as I stay within my, I think I average around 170-ish in my shard. So I'm getting pretty decent crystals and stuff every day regardless, so I can kind of take risks and not climb too far. I was scared of Relic JKR teams for the longest time. I found out my team can take them sloppy, but they can take them. And it's been eye-opening just trying. Same with Padme teams. They scare the hell out of me sometimes, but...
Hey, taking it sloppy is still taking it.
Yeah,
exactly. There's no banners in
You
arena.
love it sloppy, Noddy.
Okay, wait.
I know how you kids like them sloppy.
I would be remiss. I wasn't watching carefully. I don't know who came in next. Was it King Azriel?
Azriel.
Avi came first, and then the king came after the queen. Is that right? Because
Hey,
ladies
So
first.
Abby, hey,
Yeah.
Az, shut up. You have
Okay.
to be past the talking feather to talk, so shut up.
okay, so the talking feather at this point has just gone through. Number 1 is beefed. Number 2, I should be writing this down, is Kadar. Number 3 is Raven. Number 4 to speak will be absolutely Sith. Then number 5, Naughty Karate. Number 6 is Queen Avi
Do I get
herself, and King Azriel is number 7. So we got a pretty live call going, and the question that's going around the room is, what, if anything, has been fun for you lately about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? And the next person who has the feather coming to them is going to be absolutely Sith, and then Naughty Karate. So if one of you guys wants to jump on that question, what's been fun for you lately?
I'll jump on it. Sith is. Oh wait, he's here.
Yeah, I'm here. I just unmuted. What's been fun for me? Oh, Jesus Christ. Here's the thing. It's a loaded answer. Discord has been the most fun thing in relation to the game.
Yeah.
Since I started, I have to say it's the community, man. The game, even when it feels like a chore, even when I feel like I'm being raked over the coals and, admonished by CG, I love Bobas. I love hanging out with you guys and doing this kind of stuff. As far as the game, TW is fun sometimes. I don't know. A lot of the magic is kind of left for me. I thought I'd get excited about the new event, but I haven't really been. And I used to really love GAC, but it just became a giant time sink. So since this pandemic, ironically, the game has become much more of a chore than it was before, when it was more of a time waster and I was doing other stuff.
That's fair. Fair point.
Yeah. Same question, Naughty Karate.
Oh yeah, baby. I would mirror much of the same sentiments, but I would also say that my favorite game mode. I don't like raids at all. I've never liked raids. I was never one of those people who's like, oh, I gotta level up this tune to be good at a raid. I just like being in a guild of people that outperform me in most cases, so I can just milk that goodness. And
Heck yeah.
One example is Alpha's TW record. We don't really flaunt it that much, but the only people that join are the people that really care about it, and we win. I think it's 76% or something like that. But it's about the community. It's about being on Discord and everyone working together. And it's not about flaunting it, and it's not about the rewards, because you can just get, one less Zeta and not care about it. But it's a teamwork effort, and it's just kind of fun to do well at it and all collectively work together, because what are we building our rosters for anyway, otherwise, other than the game mode you prefer? And some people have a game mode they prefer that is raids, and they're epic at them and can solo them, I can solo the hat raid. Most of the time I just don't care. I don't even try. But in TW, I really put in a lot of effort to make sure that all my teams and counters are up to snuff, and like anyone that asks me advice, like what should I do in this case, that I'm not misleading them, because I'm a blind man trying to tell them how to walk down the street or something. So yeah, but really it is Discord. The community is the only thing that's kept me playing for the last 3 years. Truly.
Here.
It's all the friends that we've made,
Here.
I'm really glad that you brought up raids, because like I was super stoked. I used to be in like HSR all the time, just waiting, like trying to get through my phases as fast as possible to rack up damage, and like it was all. Dude. And I was super happy to be like one of the only, like the first person, I think, and then one of the few people to solo HSR for like forever. And then once it got to like 8 or more, it was just a toss up, and the magic wore off. And it was like, all right, I can do this in 15 minutes. But if I don't nail these side characters with, an assist from Grandmaster Yoda, then I won't be able to get the overcharge damage and get over the top. So it was more of RNG at that point. They still haven't fixed that bug at the end. So basically, anyone that knows it, if you used Grandmaster Yoda to finish off any of the side characters, or I think even if you do it with Nihilus, Treya, and Scion, but especially on either side in the last phase, you can get more damage than the max damage, and they still haven't fixed that. So either the RNG goes your way, or you're just 1 of 10 and you spent 15 minutes for doing it. So since you don't get top 3 guaranteed anymore, I don't even participate now. I'm getting like 47s when I used to get firsts all the time. But like you said, I think that the community aspect of TW, the fact that we're communicating, we're working together, we're against another group of people, like that seems
and all hands on deck is important. If everyone has to be on board.
Yeah, I like that answer too. But oh my goodness, who is the feather passing to next? It looks like the next person to go.
Can I append my statement one more time?
Yeah, because actually it's your turn.
Say that, because actually I've known several of the people here for more than 2 years, multiple years, and I've personally met 12 people that I've known only through this game and Discord. And it's really kind of amazing when you meet someone that you've been talking to for a long period of time, where there's like literally no like dissonance. The rapport is already like, boom, on point. Oh, that's what you look like? Okay, this is what I look like. Boom. And then it's like, you're already friends. It's really kind of cool when that happens.
Yeah, the connection, the meeting of the minds. What about Queen Avi? Is your microphone
only smart
on?
People, my last point is
My mic
only
is on.
smart people play this game.
The question
That's
we were
one thing that I
asking.
really appreciate about it.
The question we were
Sorry,
asking
I'll shut
is, what's been fun for you in the game? That's an excellent answer, Naughty Karate. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm looking at the clock. We got at least 15 minutes left in the recording session, although we may stay late. Queen Avi, you're the next to speak, and so I'll be quiet now.
Okay, what do I like? I still like doing a lot of stuff on my account if I had only one account. I think it would be even more fun for me. I've definitely reduced the number of accounts that I have, which that's helped a lot. I would like to do more raids. I like raids, but the time of the raids just kind of sucks for me. And I kind of hate that. So I never have time to do that because it's during like 2 different payouts for me. And so it's like, okay, do I do a raid or do my payout? I'd rather get the crystals. So I'll try and do that. TW, I was into for a while, and right now I'm just kind of suffering a major burnout with TW. So I'm kind of like murking in other guilds right now, or a couple of accounts. I'm not even signing up. I'm just kind of letting it sit there for the moment. to kind of figure out what I want to do with that. I'm hoping to get my mojo back because I'm really looking forward to participating fully in alpha again, especially with my roster now that I've got a lot of that taken care of. The community for me is what keeps me motivated. I mean, being one of the founders of the Alliance, I have access to so many people. There's over 2,300 people here. And I get messages every day from people, hey, haven't talked to you for a while. How are you? And stuff. So I just try to make myself available for people to talk to and such. I love it. I mean, people all over the freaking world and I get to talk to. And it's awesome. It's awesome. That's probably right now the most fun for me. It's the social aspect of it. It's not just in guild, but also the Alliance community that I'm in. Definitely. Absolutely. Love it. Other aspects, I love it. I love it when I can gear up a character and relic the little sucker. I don't know why, but it puts a big smile on my face. It's like 1 down and about 1 billion more to go.
You know what, Abby? So. I think I got to give you some props because I don't know if everyone understands that the reason that Bobas exist is like at least 40% because of you. And so you're like, I really like this house that I built, and that's why I like living in this house. And that's, yeah.
Yeah.
We love you, Avi.
Maintaining and running multiple guilds as well. Avi, I got to give it up to you. I don't think I've talked to you in voice chat much, but you've always been an amazing person. Very even-handed with everyone. And I mean, as far as leaders go, I couldn't think of a better one.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I love her steady hand at the wheel. That's very helpful. And so it was really nice hearing from you at the round table. You're welcome anytime. And next, the feather for talking passes to Azrael, King Azrael.
What's my question?
What are you enjoying in the game? What's the most fun thing for you lately?
The thing I enjoy the most in the game is probably Grand Arena Championships. I've kind of set out on a quest to try to break the top 10. And it's definitely a challenge, even
top
like
10 in lifetime record?
Top 10 in the world.
No shit.
Wow. Last 3 versus 3. Last 3 versus 3. I went to the clubhouse, number 2 in the world with like 54,000 points.
Wow.
And so you guys know I'm 8 million GP. I'm actually the guild leader, Team Instinct.
Congratulations. We haven't introduced ourselves, so we did not know.
I didn't know if this was a Boba's only thing, but I'm like a guest here. I've known Abby forever. Okay.
Yeah, no, you don't need accolades.
Okay, well, so Grand Arena Championships, breaking top 10, essentially, with 8 million is really hard because I finished number 2, but then there's the 24-hour period after that it's over that you can still do the quest. I finished all the quests. Every single one of them, I did it. When all the dust was settled, I was 16th. And everybody above me was
somebody
below
popped
6
on
million.
The chat who's 16 in the world.
Wow.
Was above 6 million or
below 6 million?
Really?
There was only 2 people that were ahead of me that were 6 million GP. The highest one was like 6.08. Everyone below that was below like, in 4.8 million, 4.7 million, 5.1 million or whatever. Wow. So, I don't think in 5 versus 5 I can make the top 10 because it's literally just a crapshoot. But in 3 versus 3, there's a lot more skill in that. So I kind of took 5 versus 5 off to gear up for some more 3 versus 3 coming, hopefully.
Oh, dude, I can't. Are you gonna make videos for 3v3 next time it comes around?
I saved everything. I saved all my data and everything. So yeah, it's kind of coming, but. Wow. I was a little heartbroken, but like Abby, the other aspect of that is I do a lot of socializing with, I'm on this server and on like Cubs Fan Han and Heinze and stuff like that. So I do like getting out and talking to people. And around like what Nadi said, I've probably met more than 10 people playing this game. Well, actually, probably more like 20. And I mean,
it's so fun, man.
They've become my friends. I've stayed with them in Florida, a couple of different people in Florida, in Las Vegas, in Ohio.
Bro, I'm in Florida. You need to come and hang out sometime.
I have tons of friends in Florida. I have places to stay in St. Pete and Fort Lauderdale. I mean,
I'm in Fort Springs, man. I'm right around the corner from Fort Lauderdale. We can talk about Agent Black over some beers, huh?
Oh, there you go. He's my buddy. He's in my guild. Cool. Wow. Hey, thanks for letting me talk about GAC and social aspect for sure.
Oh yeah, sorry. He and I have had a frenemy thing going on in our shard for a while, but he's really good at modding, man.
I want to say I did not expect to attract someone who's in the top 20 in the world right now to the simple round table, but it's really fun for me as number one player of round table tonight to say thanks for coming, everyone. Thanks for coming, King Azriel. That was really interesting to hear your perspective.
Don't
and what
boost
you're having
his ego
fun.
too much.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, come
puts
on.
His
He's
pants
in
on one leg at a time.
top 20 in the world. So we're going to keep recording for a little more than 4 minutes. I mean, we got a little more time that we could keep the tape rolling since we finally attracted some interesting guests. And the guest list right now, I'm speaking to you. This is Beef Martine. And when it's your turn to talk, I want you to feel free to either answer the question that's been asked or propose a new question to the group. And I'd like to propose a question. I didn't answer the last, but I'll answer the last question, which I proposed, then propose a new question and answer the question, and then pass the mic to whoever is next. I beefed number 1 on the list, Kadar, number 2, 3, Raven, 4, Absolutely Sith, 5, Naughty Karate, Queen, Abby herself at number 6, and number 7 is King Azriel, one of the top 20 players in the world. So, to answer the question, what's been fun for me in the game, it's been Commander Luke Skywalker, and going finally to Relic 7 on Han Solo, Raid R2-D2 Relic 7, and my favorite characters from the Star Wars universe are my strongest characters in the game, and I'm really having some fun now. Anytime I can pull them out or see them in other teams, they're just rocking the world, and especially Relic 7 Raid Han. I saw his special hit and just kill with one shot, like 88,000 damage with one shot. Anyway, wow. That was just been so rewarding to really go all in on the characters I love the most. But anyway, my account's 5 million GP, and I played the game for a couple years, but I would just like a little introduction. My question to the room would be, could you say something about your Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes journey? Anyway, that's all I say, and number 1 passes the torch to number 2, Kadar. Take the feather. What's your story? Or say one more introductory word. Who were you? Because the chat's about to close. Technically, we have a few more minutes. But we could at least go around one more time and say something about your story, personally.
I guess one word I would use to describe my story is just growth. Growth as a player and growth as a fan of Star Wars in general. Because when I started, it was 2017. When I quit, maybe I did not even hit level 85 before I quit. It wasn't really meshing with me well. That was mostly because I hadn't found any guild. And then when I came back, it was midway through 2018. I actually remember I was standing in line at one of the Avatar rides in Animal Kingdom in Disney, Florida. And that was the Django marquee. It was 2 years ago yesterday I was doing that. which is hilarious to think about how far we've come in just those 2 years. 2 years ago, we had the Jango Fett marquee. Everybody's going crazy about the Bounty Hunters. And now we've got the second round of Galactic Legends. So they definitely very much picked up the power creep. But anywho, there's definitely been a lot of growth as to what you do, because when I first joined a guild, it was just like, all right, I'll get my 600 and I'll do this, I'll do that. And now I'm the quote-unquote chief information officer of my guild. Shout out to Loving all around places. Love you guys. And it's fun, because one thing I've always been obsessed with is, like, I always get obsessed with, like, the lore and the nuance of things. So going deep dives into the kits, doing the theory crafting stuff, seeing all the fun stuff on Reddit, and then sort of translating some of that for the guild to see. That it's really been a fun thing to do. And I wasn't even trying to get like an officer position, but they offered me it twice, and the second time I was just like, all right, fine, I'll do it. And it's an experience. It's you never know like what you're gonna encounter or do when you start sort of anything in life. I never thought playing a mobile game would get me something like this, but it's definitely been a pretty rewarding experience, and I'm definitely excited to see where it continues to go, especially when I want to see the new kits with the Galactic Legends. I'm going to deep dive the heck out of those. And then I'll pass the torch on to next person on the list.
I believe that would be me. My name's Raven. I've been playing since the start. I think I've been around since like day one or within the first month or two. But because of how long of a break I took, I still consider myself to be a new-ish player. And just one thing to describe mine, I can agree with Kadar there. Growth is a great word, because and just persistence, just finding something, anything to grind, to just work towards, to look forward to, and just work towards it. Just keep focused. Like I mentioned earlier, I recently got Darth Revan. Got him relicked a little bit, and I just unlocked JKR, and so now my focus is shifting temporarily over to Separatists just to buff out the roster before I go hard into Malik and beyond, With that, I will pass the feather or torch or sword or whatever, talking stick.
To Absolutely Sith, I believe. The question for you was, what was your personal story? We didn't ever go around and introduce ourselves. Is there anything you want to tell us about Absolutely Sith's relationship with Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes on a personal level?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a big time Star Wars nerd. I think sometime around the late '80s, when I was around 7, my uncle, who was like the family nerd, the only one in the family that even knew how to communicate with me when I was, a kid just hitting the library hard, was he sat down one day, I did a sleepover, and we spent an entire Saturday watching the original trilogy. And it is still one of the best memories of my life. Like, it was a perfect moment. And, I got into the books a little bit. Of course, I've seen all the movies, played the video games. Oddly enough, I got into Coder and Coder 2 after I actually started playing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes from the community telling me about it. Originally, it was just a time waster. I was interested in Star Wars, and it was a mobile game. And I think the real turning point was the second that they introduced guilds. Because the second we had in-game chat and we started talking in Telegram, in all the different text messaging apps and eventually Discord, it was just realizing, like you said, there's so many nerds that play the game, and whatever. A lot of us get on easily enough in public. I can mask for short periods of time. I'm funny, I can be sociable. But, there's something to be said for being in a peer group, and I hate to be the kind of fandom that's representative like Rick and Morty and stuff like that, but it is nice to nerd out with other people. And by far, the best part of this game is all of it.
Don't discriminate against Rick and Morty fans, bro.
I love the show. The fandom can be a little bit much. But anyway, but yes, the point being, the final thing that I wanted to say was, it's all of you guys, man. Like sharing the love,
Yeah, bro.
all the rest of the stuff, just getting to know everyone, all the discussions that we have. Like, I think this has become the metagame for me, more than mods, more than, which comp to use, when, what, where. All that stuff has grown old, but the one thing that's never grown old is interacting with all the players in this game. It's fucking amazing. Thank you all for playing this game and bullshitting around with me for the last 6 years.
That's right. And same question to Naughty. I should say,
Is it my turn?
Don't say bullshit, because this channel may be open to people under age 18.
But you just said it.
Sorry.
There it is. I knew he was going to say it.
Naughty Karate, you're next.
Do as I say, not as I do. I get it.
The effing language.
Yeah. So I would also concur with that. And really one thing, so kind of my story, which you probably won't care about that much, so I'll make it very succinct, is that in the early 2000s and the late 90s, I was a very competitive FPS video game player, playing at Everland and stuff, and like winning, basically parts to make a new computer to keep you playing. And I swore off video games when I was 22. I was like, this is like, it's the only thing I can do. Like, I have to stop doing this. Until mobile games came around, which changed me from, actually reading books when I had to take a poo. Yeah, mobile games changed that. So Swago, it's the only game I've played for like 4+ years now. The only game, but it's still, the reason that I play it is because it's connected me to so many amazing people, and it's kind of a game that really punishes stupidity and impatience in a way that's kind of unfair. It seems like it should be illegal almost, how much a stupid person can spend money that means nothing in terms of their progression in the game. But yeah, over the course of meeting many people who got through the first initial like irks of like figuring out even how to play it rather than just watching lightsabers swing around, as one whale friend of mine coined it, he said, you know what, I just love Star Wars, and if I play this game and whale on it, it means I don't have to open up many storage lockers of toys that are unopened that I can't play with. At least I can see them swing their lightsabers around. I'm like, dude, that's a great argument for whaling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here.
Really,
I'll drink to that.
But everyone that I've met throughout this game, it's like, they're not stupid people, Sometimes we disagree with each other, but they're all very intelligent. I think this game really attracts very intelligent people, as stupid as we are to continue to play it, That's the irony of it, really, is like we're kind of enslaved,
The
But
smartest
we
and stupid
slave
people.
songs. Yeah. I sing my little slave song every day, just for the guild, because I love everybody. And the whole community at large, Anyway, I'm done.
Okay, next up, Queen Avi. Who are you? What was your personal story about your relationship with Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? Would you like to introduce yourself as a conclusion to tonight's round table?
Sure. Well, I've always been a big fan ever since it came out back in 1977. I think it was 77, wasn't it?
That sounds right.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think it was.
Yeah.
I was just totally infatuated with it. I've always been like a huge sci-fi fanatic anyway, because I first kind of started off with Star Trek, the original series. And
Heck
yes,
yeah.
I was alive when it first aired.
That's awesome.
And I was just like glued to the TV set, and anything sci-fi that I could find, it was like I was glued to it. And when Star Wars came around, I was just always a big fan. And it's funny because I was in this big Star Trek group, and we all gathered together to go to the Star Wars movies. We'd stand in line all night or whatever it was that we needed to do. And oh yeah, we had a lot of fun. and then you've got like this game that came out, and this is the first mobile game that I ever started with, that I ever played. I'm used to playing other PC type games like WoW and Terra and Wizard 101, Pirate 101, lots of other ones, School of Dragons, Star Stable, whatever it is that I play. And then this one came out, and from the day it came out, I'm pretty much a day one player. I think I started it that day or the day after it came out. And I was glued. I couldn't stop playing. And even though I had like these crappy tunes and we were set at 1x speed.
Oh, gosh.
And it was slow as molasses. It was like I couldn't stop. And I had like my little tiny tablet that I had the game on, and I was just having, I checked it all the time to see if I could do anything to move up. And then it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was April when Guilds came out, about 6 months after the game began, if I'm not mistaken. And so then Guilds came out. And I wasn't sure about Guilds because I know Guilds can be pretty crappy in some games. And so I was a little hesitant about it, but knew that I needed to improve. And so I ended up joining, what was my first guild? Shark Lasers.
Wonderful name.
Yeah, Shark Lasers. And then we moved to another guild called Crazy 88. That one, the leader kind of disappeared, but I was kind of running it anyway, and ended up turning into, we jumped ship on that one, ended up in a guild called Gin on the Rocks. And then from there, we went to the Republic community, which is where I met Naughty and some other people. And kind of traversed from there. Within like a couple of weeks, I ended up moving up to the flagship, the top guild in the Republic, which I was honestly, I was scared to death because, it was like the elite of the elite. I was 2.5 million GP at that time when I did that. And that was considered big.
Oh, sorry.
But, and then it was just like a lot of people that I met. And actually a lot of them are in my top guild Alpha right now because they had left and then they kind of ended up a big circle back, and they've been I'm their guild leader now, and they have been around with a lot of these people for years. So, but I don't know, I just kind of enjoy all of it, and ended up for the most part, in many ways, I'm kind of an introvert. And so this has opened up a lot of opportunities for me to be more social. I am also disabled, which I'm not able to work a normal job anymore due to some old injuries and all this other crap that goes on. And so this is something that keeps me sane, both the game and the community. And so by doing this is like the best job I don't get paid for, is to have to deal with you guys. On a daily basis.
Oh, I really like that, Avi. I feel the same way about like helping with, everyone's progression and just, being nice to everyone. It's like the best job you don't get paid for.
Yeah,
this is our hobby.
I love
Why
it.
not help each other?
Right. And honestly, when you're the guild leader of a guild, and I have been a guild leader for, oh my God, ages, almost since guild started, that a guild will become what a guild leader is in both personality, how they run things, what they do, what they stand for, whatever the case may be. So every guild is going to be slightly different. And I've just always thought that, if I treat people nice in the game, if I give them the opportunity to do what they want to do and not force all this stuff on them, that perhaps I could create something wonderful. And not only did I accomplish that in my guilds, but I also accomplished that in Boba's Alliance.
Yes,
and that's
God.
what I really wanted,
Yeah.
was to get people together. And I mean, honestly, how much drama do we have in this alliance? Almost none. You know, there's things that pop up once in a blue moon. There's nothing that's going to ever be
It's
perfect.
because
but
most turds are removed as soon as they're excreted. It's like taking care of a city park. Each person has to take care of their dog poop. And if everyone does, then everyone's life is so much better because no one steps in it anymore.
Yeah, and when you don't force people to clean it up, then it works it's a natural process.
Yeah, do it because you want to make your community better, not because some authoritarian told you to.
We're all extremely attracted to that attitude you're describing, Avi. So that's a really gratifying answer. I resonate with that 100%.
Cool, thank you.
Do you want to add anything else before we pass it to King Azrael?
That's it for me.
Az got a lot to say about this. Az, speak up. Are you there?
I guess the question that was being passed around is what was your personal story of your journey toward or with Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? You're next.
Well, I found the game because my actual roommate lives with me right now. Him and his best friend were playing it. We all work for Verizon. And I downloaded it, I think, the third day that it was out. And we all started a guild together. It was awesome. And I quickly realized that, this is a game I'm going to spend money in because I really like it. And I'm not much of a console player. Like, I don't really ever like to play Xbox. I love Nintendo. Like, the last console game I really liked was, like, Mario Kart, like on Super Nintendo or Nintendo 64, and then I kind of just gave up consoles after that. I did play Magic the Gathering professionally, so I do like strategy and all that good stuff. But I retired from that a while ago. After that, I kind of just bounced around until formed some alliances, broke up some guilds.
Just casually mention that.
Oh my god, I have to chime in and laugh there too.
So I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They call me the betrayer. It's because I was very upfront with what I was trying to do. I was trying to get to the top, and I'm at the top.
Hey,
now.
Whoever they is, it's not we, bro.
Not you, but
no,
you know what I mean. I mean, you got to step on some people to get to the top. Basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right.
People like, ow, my toes. Why are you so fat?
I'm friends with everyone. Like people, I'll talk to anyone. I'll help anyone. But yeah, that's kind of my story. And as it goes on, it's kind of come full circle because when we first started playing it, it was all about the game. It was all about the game. It's all about the game. It's all about the game. Well, now it's kind of the social aspect took over, but now they're adding a lot more to the game that like keeps me more involved in the game, and I'm off Discord less, which I actually like that now. Like I don't Discord as much, and I'm actually physically doing stuff into the game. I think that's actually pretty cool. So,
what's a good example of that?
Yeah, I like playing the game like that.
A good example would be Galactic Challenges, whether people like them or not. GAC, I don't have to worry about territory wars and one person screwing up everything for me. Like I can spend hours and hours and hours studying and researching, GG and their GAC history, and I can work on my hotbot, and like this is all stuff I can do by myself. So I'm spending time on the game.
Huh.
I mean, to give you an example, I basically devoted a month to that 3 versus 3 Grand Arena, and I mean like down to like where I would research their like previous 10 GAC history matches, and then I'd have to predict my defense based upon a pattern because I would put it all in Excel and think this is what they're going to set, so I'd set the most optimal defense so I could score the most points on offense.
Mm-hmm.
And that really had nothing to do with anybody else in the whole entire game. It's just something that I enjoyed doing by myself, which, it's kind of come full circle. At the very beginning, I didn't even have Discord. I didn't have a line. We barely talked in game. and it's just cool to like. There's a part of the game that you can do that again, though I still love talking to everyone. But there for a while, before Grand Arena Championships, I mean, come on. We spent 99% of our time on Discord and 1% of our time in game.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
the
it's true.
individual game was dead for a while, but it's back.
Mhm.
That's a beautiful answer. I
Other
appreciate
than
that.
doing your dailies.
I mean, I'm about to wrap up the recording portion of the round table, but just before I click the button stop recording, I would love to go around one more time and just ask if anybody has a salutation or wants to say good night in that sense. And I would go first. I beefed, and I just want to say, as a way of inviting anyone who hears this recording to join us on Mondays around 8 o'clock Central Time. We're going to continue having this open mic roundtable, and who knows who you could be talking to. It could be celebrities, it could be scumbags, it could be celebrity scumbags. So feel free to join us any Monday night at 8. We're going to keep trying to do this for a while. And I pass the rock to Kadar. You want to sign off, Kadar?
Yeah, I will say hello. I will say goodbye, and then I'm gonna sign off the voice chat as well because I gotta go take care of some other stuff. But have a good time as always. You guys are great. Stay strong. Don't rage quit.
On to Raven.
Yeah, much the same. Like, that's a great point. Don't rage quit. Just keep it up. And just in the words of a wonderful YouTuber I watch, the Dead Meat channel, be good people.
All right. Well, that's a nice sentiment. I see a 8th person popped up, Howler, but you popped up right at the end. Okay, you're number 8. That was Raven.
It's all good. It's
Next.
all good. Normally, I'm not awake.
Well, do you want to sign off? Absolutely Sith is number 5. Or 4. Yeah, 4. Absolutely Sith. Do you want to say a salutation or say goodnight to everyone before we close the chat?
Sure. Salutations and good night, folks. Keep on nerding it up.
Same to Naughty Karate.
Yes.
Just have
I would
anything
just
to
like
say?
to take a moment to take a stand for all the woke people out there to say I disagree with being assigned a number to speak. I'm just
Okay.
I did. Oh man, I just tried to pretend I was a stand-up comedian and I forgot my point. But yeah, this has been fun.
Yes, this has been fun. Okay, that was Naughty Karate. Next is 6, Avi. You want to say goodnight?
Yep. Be good to each other. That's it.
Be good to each other. That was my point. Thank you, Evie. Bring it full circle. Yeah, bitch, you got it.
Aye. How about number 7, King Azrael? Do you have a salutation or you want to say goodnight?
I gotta go cheesy on this one, but BTI or die trying.
Okay.
No.
Howler, you want to say goodnight?
I would like to first and foremost say thank you to Avi for always supporting everything. If it wasn't for her, I still probably wouldn't be in this alliance.
Aw, thank you.
Yes.
Is that Howler?
Is this a...
Yeah, that's Howler.
That was Howler.
Oh, I've never heard him before. I've never heard his voice, bro. What's
That's
up, homie?
The miracle of the round table. What's this?
Hell
There's
yeah.
there's a 9th person who's just entered the channel. It's D-Raven.
Challenge. Proceed.
Oh,
D-Raven, we
Draven.
were just signing off. Everyone's saying goodnight before I stop recording. So say hello and goodnight. D-Raven.
Hello and good night.
On that note, I'm going to
Actually-
end the recording, but we could stay online and chat if you want. But
Very
we'll
cool.
see you next Monday.